Hello, hello, hello. Well, I'm back. I'm back. Wow. So, just put hello here to get the comments rolling. So, I'm sorry I've not been around for a while. I did start these and thought, well, I'll do these every Saturday morning. But time has just taken over in a way that I couldn't imagine. So, it's good. But yes, I'm getting back to where I need to be now. Put hello, everyone. So, let's see who's on. John Hand, good morning. Hello to you. You found it. You found the link. Bless you. So, what are we getting ready for? Hey, what are we getting ready for? For what? What are we getting ready for? Good morning, Leanne. And she's saying good morning to everybody as well. So, what are we getting ready for? Does anybody know? Make sure you try and share this out as well, because I want to try and build this channel up, and make sure you subscribe into the channel. So, yes. Morning, Kaylee. You are getting ready for Christmas. Trust you. Trust you. Don't you forget about your cup of tea. Don't let it go cold. Thank you, John. But because it's gone past my breakfast, I'm not on cups of teas this morning. I've had that, but thank you so much. That would be my 8 o'clock call. Or a lunchtime one. So we're in the middle, aren't we? We're on sort of 11 o'clock, aren't we? So this might be a good time on a Saturday. I was doing 8 o'clock and I was thinking, shall I continue with the 8 or should we let people have a bit of a lie-in? So thinking maybe 11 o'clock might be a good time to do the lives over on YouTube. So what are we getting ready for in all seriousness? Do people know what we're getting ready for? And are we all comfortable now, happy with the situations that we're all in? And, wanting to learn more and develop ourselves. And why are we doing it? You see, this is a problem when sometimes we think we're doing things, but we don't really realize why we're doing it. Okay. Good morning, Tegan. I'm not sure how to share this. I think it may be afterwards. Not sure myself. I'm not sure. I'm kind of new to YouTube myself, but maybe after when it's finished. And I do see a share thing. Well, there is a thing there, actually. What's that? Don't want to press anything in case it takes me off. But yeah, so we'll just leave it for now. We can always do it later on. So yes, so when we're kind of doing things, we go through life, don't we? We kind of, move along, we do stuff. I don't know how to share lives on you. That's fine. Don't worry about it, John. We'll sort it out. It's not a big deal. I think everybody who's supposed to be here will be here today. And then later on, when it's gone off live, we can share it. And anybody who wants to watch it will watch it, So it's all about building up the numbers, building up what you're doing. Message retracted. So so basically we're looking at how do we prepare and get ready. But we need to know what we're getting ready for, don't we? What are we actually getting ready for? Hiya, Gwen. I'm doing it to go a different place than I've been stuck in for a while. Wow, that's a good reply there. Thank you so much for that, Gwen. So you're doing it to go to a different place. So do you know which different place you're going to? So you've got your reason. You have your reason now as to why you are why you're going to get ready. Okay. But so the different place, do you know where that different place is? Do you know what you need? Do you know what clothes you're going to need? It's like when we're going through life and we're going through to go to on holiday, we're going to a different place. We need a destination. Okay. And sometimes you can just say, I'm just going to go, but you need to take something with you. You'd need to take something like, certain clothes, just something. You have a rucksack, something you would need to get you to wherever you want to go to. So it's not always about having to know exactly where we're going, but at least we know what we will want, you know what I mean, in a way of what do we feel? What do we feel we want? We want a better life. Yes, we want a better life. Where do you want that better life? You can have that better life exactly where you are right now. There's no reason to move away from your actual physical homes, because the state of mind is where the happiness lies, Leanne, I've just been reading about people in the blue zones. They live with a purpose. So interesting. Yes, been down a rabbit hole since looking at your recipes. There you go. You see, you do. And that's why I put that one on there, because originally, and I'm going back now, Oh, I think it was 2017. I'm going to tell you a story. And this is how the universe works, you see. So in 2017, I was asked to, I did some training on this sort of like bioenergy work, which is to do with the chakras and cleaning the chakras and a lot of deep work anyway. So it's another little tool to add to my skills. Anyway, so I was doing this training and I met this lady, and she had just all sorts of things. She was the one that was kind of training us, as well as the original guy, the one who founded it. And we became quite friendly. And then sort of a few months later, she said, "Oh, I'm going to do a get together. I'm going to put a get together around in Spain." It was in Spain. And she said, "But it's for practitioners. Would you like to come?" So at the time I said, "Oh yeah, I'll come. Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be brilliant. I'll be fantastic." Anyway, this was about 2016 actually. So then sort of like the February time, just after the new year, she messaged me and said, "Oh, it's all going ahead, and it's going to go ahead in the March." I think it was March. And do you want to come? So I said, yes. Now that year in 2016, I spent a lot of money getting ready for what? Getting ready for building my business, helping people, training, researching, developing processes, programs. So I knew what I was getting ready for. Okay. So I had a destination. My destination was to all the knowledge that I have was now going to go into one place, because at the time it was scattered everywhere. I was trying to do this, trying to do that, and I was similar to most people around. My mind was like a sponge for information, but there was no real destination. The destination hadn't appeared. And then I just realized, well, I know where I want to be. Physically, I don't know yet, but I know I want to put all this information under one umbrella. So then I started doing all this training and practitioner of different things and everything. And so this lady said to me to go to this place in Spain. So I said yes. But then as it came to the next year, my money had run out. I just thought, I've spent all this money on training, and it hadn't run out when I had no money, but it had run out to the point where, do I need to go to this space now? Do I really need to go there? Because that's it was about 700 quid. And I thought, I don't really want to be spending any more money. I need to put this back into the business and start working this business properly, and doing some research and getting more research done and finding out how to work social media, get a logo, done all the different bits and pieces that you do when you're setting up your business. But then she rang me and I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't come now. I really can't come to this." So she said, "Oh no, don't worry about it." I said, "I'll be careful with what I'm doing with my money. I need to budget." Anyway, then she rang me in the March time and she said, "I don't know whether you're interested, but I've been, your work is really, really good." And she said, "What I would like to do is if you would come along as well, and you could be one of the facilitators. So you could do your work with the practitioners, and therefore all you have to do is pay for your flight." And I went, "Oh, right, okay." Because deep down in my heart, I really wanted to go, but I just kept thinking it's just the money at the moment, I just cannot go. So I put it into the universe that I wanted to do something, I wanted to do it. And then I let it go. I released it. I just let it go. And I thought, let the universe decide what needs to be done here on this situation. And so, so then I got this message and it was like, okay, I was like a bit taken aback. All I've got to do is pay for my flight. So I said, "Well, leave it with me." Yes. So I didn't have to ask me, didn't have to leave it with me too long. Within a nanosecond, I said, yes. So I'll easily, pay for the flight. And it was for 10 days. Was it 10 days? I think it was 10 days in Spain in this beautiful Catella Romera place, which was all specifically for workshops and stuff. And it's an amazing place, lovely retreat, which is where I'd like to take you guys one day to do the retreat that I do to this place, because it was beautiful. It was really, really lovely. And so basically when she said that, I thought, brilliant. So, but the thing is, we're going to go on Saturday, which was, she'd phoned me, I think it was on the Friday prior. So I had something like 7 days to get this all organised. And I went, "Oh, right, okay." So I started Googling for my flights and that sort of stuff, found a flight and got the flight booked. But what you could do, you could I'd never done this before. You could actually go the night before to the airport and put your luggage in. So again, getting ready. I was getting ready. It's getting myself all prepared. So you could actually go and put your luggage and book it all in the night before. Now, I only live like 10 minutes drive from the airport. So I thought, oh, well, I'll do that. So that save me in the morning, messing around, and my luggage is there. All I've got to do is get on the flight. I'm Planet Pluto, don't forget. You know? So off I went, toddled off, went to the airport the night before, got it all booked in, came home. My flight was at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I got my son to drive me to the airport. Well, I drove and he drove the vehicle back. So I was driving and I took the wrong turning, but I didn't leave until 7:20 because I thought, well, look, my luggage is in. My flight's at 8 o'clock. I think it was 6 minutes past 8. And that's all I need to do is to go in and get in there. And that's it. Thinking I was on a private jet, you see. This is me, Planet Pluto. So off I went, traveling up to the airport. I missed the turning. So by the time I got to the airport, it was 10 to 8. It was 10 to 8. But my baggage has already been booked in. I'm saying, that's fine. Well, I looked when I got through, running through these tunnels to get to the actual book, just to go and book my ticket in. The queue was from, well, wherever you live, let's just say, well, wherever I live, say like about 2 miles long. No exaggeration. It's about 2 miles long. That was just to get you to put your ticket in. So I'm thinking, oh my God. So anyway, I just said to one of the people, I said, look, I said, my flight's in 15 minutes. I said, and, you know, I need to put my tickets in. She said, well, you know, you should have been here before. I said, well, I'm here. I'm here. She said, where's your luggage? It's already been booked in. So she took me to the front of the queue of that one. She said, you're really pushing it. So I booked myself in. So then you've got to go now. You've got to go down to the customs things where you've got to put yourself in as the security thing. Another queue a mile long. And I'm thinking, oh my God. And they kept calling the flight saying the gate is closed, the gate is closed. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, what's going on here? The gate is closed. So obviously I just was pushing through people and people were giving me all sorts of dags. Excuse me, my flight's taken off. I've got to get through. Managed to get through. And then the security guard said, what are you doing? I said, well, I need to get in. My flight's about to take off. So they let me through because I had my ticket and let me through. But then with all the rush, this is what I'm saying, if you're not prepared, all these things can go wrong if you're not prepared. You've got to prepare yourself. And that day I never prepared myself. So off I went and they let me through. But then what happened? I had my laptop in my bag. I didn't take it out separately. I had creams that I'd bought specifically bought for my hair, which were quite expensive, all my organic stuff, but they weren't in a 50ml bottle or 100ml bottle. I'd taken them out and put it in a bigger size bottle, but you couldn't do that. I didn't know. It's like, oh my days. It's a long time since I had a flight, you see, you can tell. So in the end, finally, it was now 8:10 and my flight was at 6 minutes past 8. But I was determined. I could see the flight that I was going on in my mind. I knew that energy of that flight was still there. So I was still preparing to go and get on that flight, even though technically the flight was supposed to have gone. So I'm running, another 5 minutes through all these things on these escalators. I'm running. And I get to the gate and I could see the flight. But the woman said, the gate's closed. I said, but I'm booked on that flight. She said, well, it's closed, but the flight's there. I said, the aeroplane's there. And she said, well, you have to wait a moment because technically, you know, the gate's closed now. So I went, well, I said, well, I'm there. I said, well, my luggage is on the flight. So she called through to the flight and they said, yes, let her on. Let her on. I was like, oh, by this time, it's about 20 past 8. You know, really? The flight should have been in the air by now. But what had happened was somebody had collapsed on the flight. An elderly gentleman had collapsed on the flight and they were waiting for the NHS to come and see what was going on with the guy. But technically, because when you work with Planet Pluto, you find that these weird things happen to stall things if you're meant to be somewhere. So if you're meant to be somewhere, you will find all sorts of things that will come in the way to ensure that you get where you need to go to, okay? And so this poor gentleman, you know, and his wife had to be taken off. So that's why the flight was delayed. Anyway, in the end, he couldn't stay on the flight. He had to be taken off. So I was then stood at the top of the flight, waiting for this guy on the floor to be taken off on a stretcher to the hospital. then I could get onto my flight. And so off I go then. And as I'm walking down, this story gets quite gripping. As I'm walking, I was going to tell you there's something to this story. As I'm walking down the aisle, I knew, my energy knew I was going to be sitting between two people. And it was quite a full flight. But prior to that, when I booked it, by the way, you had a choice of pre-booking your seat. So you could pay an extra, I think it was something like £15 to book your flight seat. And I thought, well, why do I want to book my seat? I'm not bothered. They've got to put me on the flight. I don't want to pay extra £15 to go and sit. It's only a 2-hour flight. I'm not bothered where I sit. I sit on the wing. I'm not that bothered where I sit. I don't care. So I left it to the universe to put me wherever it needed to be put. Okay. So as I'm walking down, there was still an odd seat that was kind of empty, but I could just see these two. It's quite far down towards the back of the plane. And there was two gentlemen, one at either side, but there was a seat in the middle. And I thought, that's going to be my seat. I could just tell it's going to be my seat. I thought, oh, you know, but anyway, what it is, what it is. So I went, excused myself for the guy on the outside, sat in the middle of these two gentlemen. Now, because I'm an energy intuitive, I had one of the strangest feelings from one of the gentlemen. Something just didn't sit right. There was something about the gentleman, the guy, I call him a gentleman when I tell you what was happening. But anyway, yeah, I found it was a bit strange, the energy. So make it look like, John, let's hope I can get a win. Yeah, John, yes, good luck with that, John. Gwen, I never book a seat, don't care. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why I didn't do that. Yes, totally had this as a vice versa. I've had it when I've known it shouldn't be doing something or seeing someone, everything goes wrong and makes it real different. Yeah, it can do. It can do. Yeah, but this is a twist to this one. So I'm sitting in between these two guys now. And one was an elderly gentleman. I think he was about 70 when he got spoken. He was about 70. And the other one, don't know how old he was, but I would say 50-ish. Looked older than that, but I would say 50-ish. Maybe not even being 50, could have been 40s, but anyway. And I had such a strange feeling, but he kept interfering in my energy, and I was sandwiched between these two. And in these seats, they're not, I wasn't in first class or business class. I was in, economy, so it was just a little seat there. And the one on my left was really in my energy, messing. I didn't like it. I mean, I was protected, but I didn't like the feeling that I was feeling with this particular man. And he kept trying to talk with me and strike a conversation, which was totally nothing that I wanted to have a conversation about. So anyway, I ended up turning to my right towards the window where this other guy was sat he was sat at the window, and I was and he kind of looked at, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine, thank you." Thinking, oh gosh, but he had such a lovely energy. So this is the law of opposites. I was sandwiched between a very, very beautiful soul and a very, very troubled soul. Okay. And so I thought, right, okay, so now I just need to go over here. So we started talking. I chat with the guy, and he was saying he's going to see his grandchildren and all this sort of stuff with his daughter. And we then started to get our phones out and he went to show me his grandchild on his thing. And I had a picture of my grandson was actually on my screensaver. The guy on the left, he went to snatch my phone to look at the phone. And I went, excuse me, what are you doing? But he'd seen the picture of my grandson. And then he started this awful groaning sound and started molesting the seat in front, bending down and molesting it as if it was like a child. So for me, I was sandwiched between a paedophile and a nice human being, okay? Because he was only when he saw the child. And then he turned to these other two men and was kind of winking or doing something, and they tried to peer over. So I just knew that this wasn't a comfortable situation for me to be in. Hi, Joyce. Yes. So it was like, whoa, this is what I'm saying when you're getting ready for something. What are you getting ready for? What comes in, and how do you cope with things that come into your life when you're moving through a transition to get to where you need to get to? You do see some ugly things, and you have to look at what are these things and why are these things around you. So I was actually, at the time, I was quite enraged, and I just gave him a look. So all I needed to do, I only just gave him the look, because when you see a certain look from me, you just know, do not even think about moving 1 inch further, or even 1 centimeter, or even one minuscule tiny speck of a rhinoceros's backside further towards me with your energy. Because now you're in danger zone with me, especially where children are concerned. Absolutely. No. So he kept saying that, his wife had left him, and all this sort of stuff. I just said, look, I really do not wish to engage in a conversation with you. I think you should sit in your space and allow me to sit in my space, but I really do not want to wish to engage in a conversation. You have now breached my privacy. You encroached on my boundaries. You've touched my personal possessions. If I have to create a list of the things that you are now doing that are not acceptable, I will have you escorted off this flight, and you'll be going through not the proper procedures. The door will just go open, you'll be thrown out, in other words. But it was kind of my energy that was saying all this, as opposed to me physically saying it. Anyway, so I had to kind of control myself and contain myself, and just literally switch and turn and speak to the guy. But the guy who was talking to, he'd already cottoned on. He said, he was the words that said, like that, you see. So I went, yeah, because he was trying to get hold of our phones, or my phone, because I was closest, but he was still trying to engage with the other guy now. I'm trying to look and talk with him and talk about the children and all that sort of stuff. So, so basically, the next thing was, I had a really nice conversation with the elderly guy, and we exchanged numbers, because I was telling him what I wanted to do, and it was about creating a retreat. So we got there in the end. And this is how, back in 2017, when I first had the idea of creating a retreat, and that was my plan. And I was going to a retreat, and so it was like, a retreat I'm going to, I want to create one. And, so there's all these things that I'm in the air, in the field, that the universe now has got hold of my information there. Okay. The reason, I suppose, why the guy was in there, this pedophile guy, was to bring my awareness to what was going to be exposed, which is where we are now. So I was exposed to that, because I hadn't really been exposed to anybody like that in my life really before, to be fair, in that way. Yes, there was things which I'll talk about on my private stuff with you guys in the who are in the retreat that I've got online. I will talk with you about my experiences with that sort of stuff, so you can get a bit more of a gist of where people are coming from and how they can help people who've been in similar situations. But yes, so I kind of knew that was in my field, but not experienced being that close to a stranger, let's say, okay? And anything to do with men, when it comes to my family or my grandchildren, it's off with your head. I wouldn't think twice. You want to come in this field? No. Lioness is here. She will eat you alive. So it's not a good place to come in to my energy when it comes to being untoward, or having any vibrational frequencies that are not of pure thought, so for me as a human being, for my rights, you can have your own pure thoughts for yourself that you've got to clear. When it comes to me, no. Or my family, it just doesn't work that way. So so basically, it was like, look, I'd have thrown him off myself. That's when I'm a fool. I'd have not I've stayed on either. But the thing is, you're in mid-flight, but this is how you work with yourself. It's how you work with yourself to deal with these things. That's what I'm saying. So when we're looking at how to get ready and get prepared, there's going to be things on your journey that you're going to see. And what happens is, when you're going through these dark tunnels to get to the light, this is what happens. It's the universe is, and the universe we talk about is being your higher self, really, because we talk about the universe as being something external. The universe is really us. We're all in the universe. We're all part of it. So it's in, not out, But so when you talk about that, I'm talking about the higher self of you, the part of you that has the common sense, the part of you that has all the answers, the part of you that knows, what to do under certain circumstances, whether it's being in a depressive state, anxiety state, addiction state, or whatever. There's a space within you that has all those answers. That's what my job is to lead you to those places. But we have to go through these dark passages in order to get to them. Okay, so it's what are we getting ready for? It's very, very important when we're going on this journey, because when you're getting ready to go somewhere, you're traveling through these different frequencies that you have to go through to clear before you can end up getting to where you need to get to. So it's very, very important that we know what we're heading towards and how we're going to get there, because that's what that's what gets people to crumble. That's when you can take a step back, because like Leanne said, I'd have done it, well, physically, mentally, I could have done it, but physically I wouldn't have done it, if that makes sense. And it's where is that switch that stops you from actually carrying out the act from the thought, So we've got to look at that. And this is what I did, is kind of, believe me, with all the will in the world, I had to contain myself, really, really use every powerhouse, button, generator, everything to control myself where this being was concerned, okay, because it just didn't sit with me and never will. That's just me. And I know everyone's here for an experience. They've all got to do their own thing, but that to me is just not something I will ever find an acceptable thing. It's just not. I can't, I can say to you, well, you need to learn to not do that, and I could, train them not to do it, but I could not accept it as a gift thing that they should be doing. Okay. So anyway, so when I was talking with this guy, we finally, and as the flight landed, the guy then knew there was a bit of hostility, but he was just not awake. He had no comprehension of what energy even was, but he could feel it. But he did say, on the flight back, I'm going to sit next to you on the flight back. I just looked at him and I just thought, hell will freeze over if you sit next to me on the flight back. Hell will freeze over. I can guarantee that will not happen. One experience is enough. Two, no. So anyway, off I toddled, and then this guy who I was talking to, the nice guy, he ended up contacting me whilst I was away, saying, I've got this gentleman that I know who might be able to help you with your retreat. So that's how it kind of happened. So I had to be on that flight, but the guy as well, who I sat next to, the nice one, he shouldn't have been on that flight. I shouldn't have been on that flight, because he travels to Spain quite regularly to see his granddaughter and his grandchildren and his daughter, but he always travels in the week, because he works. And because he works near the airport, he always travels in the week, because he lives quite far away. Well, Liverpool. Was it Liverpool? Somewhere, yeah, but he always likes to go from Manchester Airport because it's more of a direct flight. And so he never, ever has flown on a Saturday, ever. But when he booked his ticket 2 months before with Monarch Airways, but Monarch Airways had gone bump. And so they had to rebook him on another flight. And the only one that was available was that one. See how everything works? See what I mean? He shouldn't have been there. Technically, I should have missed the flight. But I should have met that guy, that particular guy. I should have met him, because he ended up giving me some valuable information about retreats. And I nearly did get an investor to do a massive retreat in the UK, but just didn't work out, which I'm glad it didn't in the way, but there was a reason for that as well. But all these steps that I had to take to get me to where I am now, and now I've got the retreat, and it's an online retreat, not the physical one as yet, because of all the stuff that's going on right now. But it was like the universe in me already knew that creating external retreats just right now, and especially because it was something, and my instincts already knew that there's something big going to happen that's going to prevent that from happening, and and have an effect on that. Maybe people would have lost the money, paid for it and all that, which would have upset me, and all these things. So I still got my retreat, okay, but I've got it online until we work through this energy to create them, which is what I'm going to do with the you know, the GoFundMe stuff, you know, which I'm going to work with that to get the motorhomes and to do it in a more of a community setting, like the Blue Zone, which I've put the recipes there on the retreat to give you some ideas of where my head is and where I'm going. And the ones who are switched on, Leanne, you see, Leanne switched on, is already recognizing what's behind what I'm kind of doing. And that's what I'm doing with you guys, that I'm working with your mind for you to figure out things, for you to figure out yourself. Because I'm not going to say, oh, do this, do that, do the other, which is what I talk about. So when I'm saying you're getting ready, what are you getting ready for? So we need to have some form of an intention to what we're getting ready for. But when we have that intention, we have to be mindful of that journey, that frequency that is going to take you there. Okay? Because that's when you can stop. Because things like that can really bother you and stick in your vibration and create another experience of that. So we have to create that pathway and move through it unscathed, unharmed, with a knowing, and then travel just through that vibration to allow ourselves to not get hooked into the things that are already in our vibration, that we say you need to clear that energy, ancestral or from your timeline that you've actually ended up in. You know, there's something going on in there that needs to be undone. And I do that on my I've seen that on my, what do you call it, what are they called now, the what do I call them now, the Entangled You. I've got the podcasts on here called the Entangled You, and they talk about real life stories. I will get back to those eventually. It's different codes that have certain traits within them that get triggered, and their behavior is the way I kind of explained on the Entangled You on the podcast on here. So yes, so basically it's what are you getting ready for then? What are you getting ready for? So there we go. It's a bit of a good story this morning, but it's there to give you an idea of when you're going through your life truly, when you're going through your journey, you will come across some icky things things I could talk about. You will come across those. So what do you do, and how are you going to move through it? Because it's an energy that has to be cleared from your path. You know, this is a little bit Planet Pluto stuff, which I will be doing the workshops on, and I will be talking with you in more depth of how to clear these things that we have in our vibrational field. You know, we have them, and we need to know, how do we get rid of them? How do we get them out of our life without hooking them in and embedding them in even more? You know, that's a big thing that we need to look at. Let me read some of your comments. Let's have a look. Yuck, I would have thrown in off myself. That's why yeah, okay, you've seen that one from Leanne. Tegan, yeah, make you right there, Martine. Gwen, I pick up good vibes and bad vibes of people instantly. Yeah, some people can do that. I do, and I could see it. I felt it on my way down the plane. I just felt it. So, Tegan, I'm like that, Gwen. But then sometimes you can see someone and not get a good vibe, but then you may see them again and you think, no, they are okay. That's happened to me before. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about why that happens on one of the workshops. I've had this before. And in fact, I'd say that when I do the readings on a human blueprint, I tell people about that, why that happens, and certain codes you can kind of override it. Gwen, there was one guy I couldn't even sit near, didn't even know him. He turned out to put a friend through hell. Okay. Yeah, that's my biggest fault, reacting. I've been working really hard this year. Still a problem. So this is the thing. So we need to look at that. It's the reactions, isn't it? It's the reactions that you have that create a problem. And this is what I work with, is to look at how we contain and control these reactions that we get in life to help us get ready for whatever we're getting ready for. Because they do come, and it's a test. It's a test to see how much you really want something. You know, did I want to get off the flight? Yeah, I did. Not even get off the flight. Did I want to get off away from the guy? Yeah, I did. But did I be able to center myself and have my field cleared within probably about 5 or 10 minutes? I could clear my own field from that man, you know. So it was fine in the end. And on the way back, did he sit next to me? No, he didn't. Did I see him? Yes, I did. But he knew he wasn't sitting next to me. I sat in the middle of two people, two nice people that I sat in the middle of. So yeah, You know, it's just what it is. When we get to this space, when we start to really do this inner work on ourselves, we meet our own universe. We do meet our own universe, and we give birth to another part of us, another dimension to ourselves. And that's what I was talking about. You know, when we talk about giving birth, we're giving birth to our new life. There's plenty of new lives that you can have, but we have to look at that trek that we're going through on the frequencies to see what's on there. There's something we have to do it. We have to go through those things, because it is a law of opposites. There's no path, I don't think, that has got it's all paved with gold. There's always a journey to that path that's paved with gold, you know, and it's how we react to those things that either let us go get past it and go through to the next level, or keep us there and then takes us further back and then on a different direction. And it's the reaction. So, Leanne, it is the reaction that keeps you there, and that stops you from moving forward, or takes you steps back, and then takes you off on another strand, let's say, on another frequency, because frequencies are all over the place, you know. And so it's looking at that and how we can maneuver ourselves. We have to become like real professionals, professional maneuvers. We have to dance through this life. We have to get underneath. We have to untangle. You know, we have to see it coming. Right? Okay, if I go that way, then if I respond like this, then it's going to hook me in. It's like the Venus flytrap, isn't it? If you go too close to it, boom, it closes you up, and that's it. You're stuck in there now, and you get eaten by the flower. You know, so it's kind of just really knowing this place of ours and how to get there. And that's why I put a question mark, what you're getting ready for, you know what I mean? What you're getting ready for, what part of you are you getting ready for? Where is that part of you? You know, have you found that part of you? Have you been made aware of a part of you that you now know that needs to be worked on to get you closer to the next part of you? Because it's all about steps. It's all these different stepping stones that we need. Hi, Sarah Elizabeth. First time I've caught you on here after watching the meditation. Oh, brilliant. Hello, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you do subscribe, because you get notifications then. And I did say I have reached my over the 100. And so now I can actually start to put my own link on there, apparently. So I'm going to put my own link on, because that was one of the little things I wanted to do. At the minute, it's got all the numbers. It's not my own links. I can do that now. So but the more subscribers I get, the more thick tools I get again. It's typical of everything. But it's good. It's good. And it's good because it makes you want to achieve more. And that's what I'm going to do with the orbs. You know, you're going to achieve more. When you get to this next level, you can get this and you can get that. So it's very good to be able to do that, you know. It's really good. So getting there. So when I say getting there, it is a question mark. And I do want to find out where you're going. And do you know where you're going? You know, because even if you've got like an idea of somewhere, like it's like a happy place. Where is the happy place? What does it look like? Describe it, you know. So we're going to get doing the workshops when we get onto the workshops next week in the retreat. That's what I want to talk to you about and do the workshops on that. So Sarah was lovely, the meditation. The brilliant, aren't those meditations of the fantastic frequencies. I'm just enjoying the journey. So good. So I'm glad you're enjoying the journey, but you need to know where you're going on the journey. Yeah, you still need to know where you're going, okay? Because for health-wise as well, you need to know where you're going. You still need to do some work, because we can enjoy the journey, but it's like, well, we're in a school. Don't forget, we're in the school of life. So it's saying, well, you can enjoy the journey, but what you're learning and what you're putting in place, and it's not about what you're absorbing and what you're listening to. It's about what you're doing with the information. Are you working with the information? You know, how are you working with the information? This is what I'm going to be doing with getting you to work. Joyce, I see through people, and now you're helping me realize why. Yes, this is a thing. Margaret Ann, lovely. I need to learn it. Yes. Hello, lovely. I'm going to hopefully, I know I said speak to you a couple of days ago, but I've literally been in Planet Pluto, but hopefully I'm going to speak to you. I'm going to message you privately after this to see when you're free. But yes, definitely we need to kind of get to that space now where we start to figure out all these things, all these tools. And for me, I think the biggest thing that I've noticed when I'm working with everybody, not just you guys, but everybody in general, is that the one thing I've has come as a pattern is the fear or the reactions to certain things, which I see just hooking them back in. Okay, it's that hook. It's like you can get so far and then you bump, it stops you, you respond, you react, and then you go back into la la land, wherever you were before, and the next minute you know you're living your life cycle again. It's like Groundhog Day. You just seem to can't get yourself off the hamster's wheel. Leanne, I had thought on the Thursday evening a very intense feeling of needing to build a life and a purpose. There you go. There you go. See, this is another work that you're doing on yourself. It's nothing. When I do this work, there's nothing really that amazes me when it comes to people now starting to do different things, because I'm working with your subconscious mind, number one. I'm actually physically in the field untangling you, you know, just by certain words and giving you information and guidance and truth. Because you see, the thing is, the mind knows the truth. Your mind does know the truth, but it also likes to tell lies. Okay, so we need to make sure that we become more honest and start to train the mind to stay in the responsive of truth rather than the responsive of a lie, because that's when we get entangled. A lie will always entangle you. If you're in a space where your life isn't where it needs to be, you're in a lie life. Yeah, you're in the lie life. If you're in a place where you're not, and that is all to do with your health, to do with your mentality, to do with your well-being, you know, your environment. If you're anywhere which isn't where, you know, you are, I've got any of those things, if something's going wrong, we're in what we call a lie life. Okay. Now, we still do get things going wrong in the life where we're in the love life, you know, the truth life, because it's not that they go wrong. It's just that we get more aware. They're there. It's a lesson. Okay, we're going to do that. But when you're stuck in them and you feel like you can't get out, that's what I'm talking about, the lie life, because we're always going to have things to teach us along the way, because we're not where we need to be yet. None of us. We're all in the school of life. But to get there, what we do is we get the lesson and we learn it so quickly. You know, oh, okay, how do I respond? How would I respond to that guy? If I'd have been on that flight maybe 10 years ago, it would have been a completely different outcome. I probably would have been the one that would have got thrown off the flight. Do you know what I mean? Because my temper would have been just on fire. I was very, very fiery. You know, you really I was just like, don't speak to me like that, or don't you come in my vibration, and don't you do this. It was very much like that, you know. I just didn't, but I suppose it was me tuning my way in to protect, build up my barriers, build up my bouncers that I call, the bouncers that are around me. It's like, don't come in my energy, don't. And at the time they were coming in, I didn't know how to get them out, and it was like, oh, so it was very kind of fiery, and got myself into a lot of trouble. You know what I mean, by being that way in some respects. And sometimes it was just like, oh, just leave her alone. God, she's a maniac. Get away from her. She's not right. You know, it's like, because, you know, my younger days, that's what I was very, very fiery like that. So you go through those times, you go through those things, and you realize that's not getting you anywhere. Martin, that's not getting you anywhere. You're still going back to square one. You've got a good brain in your head. Why do you keep going back to square one? Because you're reacting and you're responding in the wrong way. The universe doesn't like that. Your higher self does not like that. It's saying there's a better way. There's a much better way for you to respond to things in life, a much better way. Learn it. And then I did. I learned it, and it's took me 30 years to learn it, to tame, to become tame, to be in control of my own vibration, to get there, okay? To get there with a question mark. And each time I get to that place or get to a space, I want to move on to the next one, to the next one. But it's always a higher vibrational space. Always a higher vibrational space, you know, and that's what we're like. We need to figure out where we want to go. Yeah, got to learn how to control ourselves and how to tame ourselves, and learn how not to respond to the things and the reactions that are coming in from the calls that we've made in a different timeline, let's say. So let's have a look. Leanne, I had the thought on Thursday evening. Oh yeah, I've said that one. Thank you for that. Fear is, yes, Sarah, this fear. Margaret Ann, yes, the mind has that Jekyll and Hyde feeling at times. Yes, definitely, Margaret Ann, it does. It does. I said, Sarah said that as well. Joyce, yes, it's a gut feeling you go with, not your head. It is. It's in your gut. But the thing is with the gut feeling, Joyce, is that the gut, most people's gut has been interfered with, because it's in the gut is where all the neurotransmitters are formed for the coherence, for the brain activity. And most people's gut feelings have been tampered with, mainly because of what we're consuming and what we're eating and that sort of stuff, and the environment and what information that you're listening to out there in the big wide world, you know, that all affects the gut. Okay. And they do say the gut's another brain. It's like the second brain. You've got three brains: that brain, the gut brain, and the heart brain. You know, there's not just that one brain that we talk about here. Leanne, yes, I keep being sent the same lessons. About time I started to learning them now. Exactly. And you do. When you will learn them. We will learn them the hard way, you see. But there's an easy way of learning them. So we need to get a grip of learning these things more now, rather than the hard way, the easiest way. And that's when you start to tame yourself. And I think if anything could tame me, then I think you guys, you know, you'd be easy like a putty cat. Because I was a hard one to tame. Anybody you speak to back in my day, they will tell you, whoa. But it really, what I look back at that now, and I think that was just energy that needed to be put in its right place. It was in the wrong place. So I've always been quite a powerful, energetic person and being, but it was in the wrong place. And this is what happens. And we all have this energy, but it can be misplaced. And that's what we need to do, is find out where the energy goes and put it in the right place and get it into some organization and some kind of structure, so that when we kind of do these things in life, when we do move forward and we can move with grace. We do move with grace. You know, you just go, oh, there's a knot. Okay, let's just unpick that one. Let's get that one out. There we go, free. You become a master. You do become the master of unpicking energy. Literally, you do. You become a master of it. I'll teach you. Yeah. Yes, I keep getting sent the same lessons. Yeah, you said that one. Thank you for that, Gwen. It's amazing how the simple things have an impact. Just one quote I read completely changed. Letting someone live in my head it just went. There we go. It's amazing, isn't it? It's a power. No one can ever tell me ever that we are not powerful human beings. No one can ever tell me, because I've seen it and it's at its play. I've really seen it go. You know, would you completely say you're content at where you are now, Martine? Leanne, oh, thank you for that question. I am in here. Yes, I am. If someone said to me now, you can be anybody you want to be in your life, anybody, I would say I'll still be me. If someone said to me, if there's the God come down and says, right, Martine, you know, you can come back as anybody and anything you want to be or want to do, who would you come back? And I still say me. I've got to that place now. It's not about material things. The question was, would you completely say you're content at where you are right now? Yes. The answer to that is yes. If you mean, or if I could extend that by saying, am I content at growth? No, because I'm always going to grow. But now I know I'm content with my garden, and now I want to add things in there, and I know where I want to put them. I know where I want to put the rose bush. I know where I want to put the dandelions for my tea. You know, I know now where I want to put things. So I am content with me 100%. I mean, I could just live in me forever. I like that space. I really like that space. You know, I like the space. But have I got room to grow? Yes, I have. Because everybody has. And I think if anybody says that they're not, they haven't, and they're really, then they're living a lie, you know. But being content, I am completely content. I'm happy knowing that anything that I need to know or want to know, now I can go and find it, and I will find it, and I will have it. If it's important for me and it serves a purpose, I will have it. Yeah. I know that I how to do that now. Whereas before, no, I didn't. But now I do. So I'm content. It's an amazing question, that. Thank you, Leanne. It was an amazing question. It is a great question. Sarah says, wow, feel emotional now. Yes. Oh, virtual hugs. Yeah, virtual hugs for Sarah. But it is, you know, and like I said, and then when I met Leanne on the when she started following me on the Human Blueprint, and you know, and Leanne will say herself, you know, there was something she said, and I just went, whoa, no, and I caught her in the light, There's absolutely no way on this earth you were going to do what you were saying you were going to do at that time. And so I think, Leanne, you have come beyond already from where, and that wasn't that long ago. That was not that long ago when you came on my live, you know, and I'd never heard your name before, but you came on my live and I just thought, whoa, no. And you've come on so far at the speed of light to where you are right now. Absolutely amazing. And this is the power once you start to switch those light switches on, when you start to get there. It doesn't matter, there's a question mark. We're getting there for that moment, just for that moment. There again is going to be another there, and there'll be another there, and another there. Where I'm getting to there is there. That's it. And what I'm going to do is those tools. I'm going to work the tools to fulfill that space where I am there, to move me to the next there, and the next there, and the next there. You know, and that's when you become content. That's the question that you ask, is the contentment, is knowing that, yeah, I can move anywhere I want to move to. And when it aligns, and this is the thing, here we go, this is the thing. Because people can say, you know, well, I'm not content because I don't like the house I live in, I don't like the environment I'm not in, but my environment's in here. Really, it's inside. And I know people who live in mega beautiful houses, you know, stunning houses, but their life's awful for them, and they say that. So what is it? Is you, for me, your content's got to be within here, and when your contentment's in here, you start to push out your outer world. It will manifest, but you have to be content first and not rush it. I know it. I know where my life's going to be. I know where, you know, my eventual staying place will be, you know, until I want to move on to the next place, you know. I know where it is. It's just got to now, after the seed's been planted, I can't keep digging up that seed and saying, when are you going to grow? When are you going to grow? I've got to nurture it and water it for it to manifest. And it manifests at the time when you've done enough nurturing for that thing. That's when it starts to push through the soil. If you look at a flower or a plant, you know, it doesn't come out the soil just like that. When you put that seed in, it doesn't come out. But a lot of work is going on in that soil that you cannot see. You can't see it. But what people do is they keep digging it up and saying, it's not bloody grown yet. It's not grown. Yeah. And therefore, that's it. You're not going to get there because you've now dug up your flower. You've dug up your seed. So leave it. Keep watering it, keep nurturing it, keep feeding it information, you know, giving it food, nourishing it, care for it like it's your life. And that's what I do now with everything that I have. I care for it. Yeah, I care for it. Always I care for it. I care for my home. I care for my home inside here with what I put in it. Do I put everything in there that is perfect? No, it's not. But do I put the majority in there? Yes, it is. Am I still learning and finding and developing? Yes, I am. Am I happy doing that? Yes, I am. Gosh, if I wasn't able to tend my garden in my soul, in my mind, in my spirit, what would I have to do? What would I have to do? I probably wouldn't exist. I'd be then in the light, so light that you wouldn't be able to see me, because that's what happens. You get to that light where you become very light and you just can't be seen. And I'm not there yet. You know, I'm not there yet. I don't want to be there yet. I'm quite enjoying this experience. I want to experience the tangible things. I want to experience nature at its fullest. You know, I really want to do that. I want to smell the beautiful dew in the mornings, the trees, the flowers, the sense of the natural environments, which is what we're getting exposed to now because we're in more of a situation where we can do that, you know. So yes, it's a fantastic question, that, Leanne. I'm very impressed, very impressed. You can have an orb for that. I think Leanne can have an orb. We're going to give you a mint orb, okay? Because I think you've come on so well. So that's another orb there gone for Leanne. That's exactly what you've helped me with, sitting back and taking a breath and looking what's around me, take myself out of my head and get out in nature. I love that. I absolutely love that. Yeah, Margaret Ann, patience. Patience is the key. Patience and confidence, trust, faith. There's lots of things in there that we need as a tools to allow us to grow. Yeah, there's lots of things in there that we need to allow us to grow. So on that note, thank you so much for joining me, everybody. So make sure afterwards, you can probably share this after. There's a link on that to share it, and make sure you subscribe in. Hit the notifications so you get your notifications. I'm going to try and do these on Saturdays. It won't be every Saturday because I do have my grandson on Saturdays as well. But yeah, at the moment, I'll do probably every other weekend maybe, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So have a fantastic weekend. See you all in the retreat, okay? Anybody, for the YouTube people, if you want to come and join my retreat, I have that. I'm going to put the link in the comments, and I'll also put it on my banner. I'm going to put the tag there so you can just go directly to there and come and join us in the retreat. So enjoy, everybody, and have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you all tonight on the Shinny Show live as well. Don't forget, we've got double me today. So I'll speak to you all later. Bye for now. Take care. Thank you for joining me and watching me today. Love you all. Bye for now.